What is up, everyone? Welcome to today's practice session. So we've received some updated versions of the setup from our guy who has been the one who's working on the setup for his team and been sharing them with us. The last ones we had was the original that they had basically come to and gotten a good base. Now we've gotten kind of the more up-to-date ones that they've kind of refined. So they've sent us 2 of them, and they each have their own qualifier setup attached with it. So today we're going to run a tank on both and see where they stand. The only problem I'm having with them is kind of in the title of the video. Towards the end of the tank, the booty gets squirrely, bro. So I don't know if that's a ride height thing or the rear might be too stiff. I've updated everyone in the Discord so that they know this. And some of our other drivers, like Ryan, James, maybe Phil, Jojo, guys who know the game, know the car well, maybe they can figure it out. So this is kind of where we're at now with the setup. So just to kind of give you guys an idea and where we're going, where we're at right now. So the majors is on the 6th. We're currently in the process of getting all of our guys who are participating in it registered. And other than that, it's just about practicing and dialing in the setup. So again, we've kind of got it to a good baseline, and now it's about letting our other guys who are competing and participating kind of feed us information on maybe what they think the setup could use, how they could change it, what they could do to improve it. But other than the rear getting squirrely towards the end, I think it's pretty good. Also, James has helped me out a lot with slight adjustments to my driving style on this scan, because I struggle to get into the sub-30s on this track scan. In Le Mans Ultimate, I can do 29s, 28s all day. This one is a little different on T1 and on the Porsche S's for anyone joining us, or Porsche Curves. So that's where I've got to kind of adapt to. But I've gotten my lap time down for sure. Dude, I totally lack the talent. That's the facts, bro. That's the facts, Jack. The moment you start thinking you're too good for yourself, you'll never start getting better. I'm always trying to remind myself, dude, I'm still a shitter. I may make myself feel better about some progress I make here and there, but at the end of the day, I'm still a shitter. There's a lot of really good talent out there, and if you want a chance at all ever catching them, you really have to keep your ego in check and keep your own sense of talent or skill in perspective. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there who have been doing this a lot longer than we have. So at the end of the day, you know what, Corey? We hashtag shitter, bro. How are you doing, big buddy? Man, you missed the most insane ELMS race, dude. I'm going to stream it after this practice session. All I'm going to say, it was the most intense Le Mans race I've ever had. In a good way, though. Oh, bro, shit talk me all day long. I'm Irish. You know that, dude. Real friends should be able to shit talk each other. They should be able to call each other out how they see shit. That's just facts. I don't like people who pretend to be that way. If you are that way, you're that way. If you're not, don't pretend to be. So this is our off lap. I'm sure you guys can kind of see just how much easier it is to drive than the other setup we had. And that was kind of, Corey, to answer your question. Do you trail brake in hypercars? You really shouldn't have to much. The setup we were using previously was a little understeery for me, at least with my style. So that's why I figured I was probably trail braking more than I should be. So hope that clears it up. I'm good, bro. A little stressed out, but you know, if I'm standing up, I'm waking up, I'm walking, I got my dog beside me, it's a good day for me, dude. Scott's Irish, then you know what it's about, bro. You grew up in that environment. Oh, hell yeah. You got some links? Let me throw them up on X. You know what's crazy? I always tell everyone, speak your mind, be yourself. And guess what just happened to us? Overtake GG just followed us on X. after we had a disagreement with them. And we came to, like, understand each other, and they followed me. So I have a ton of respect for Overtake now, because they didn't just immediately block me. They didn't take it offense to it. They took it as constructive criticism. We came to an agreement, and they gave us a follow on X. So that is huge. Big shout out to Overtake GG and Yannick over there. Okay, sounds good, Corey. I'll look forward to it, bro. Okay, so let's see how much we can knock time off our first time lap from last time. Shout out to James on our team for helping me understand how to abuse the track line here a bit more. Right there, I got a bit more room coming out wider now that James has helped me understand that one too. Yeah, I love the work that Overtake does. What it was all about was that they were sounding a little biased in their coverage of Le Mans Ultimate. And a Le Mans Ultimate, you know how much I love it. I'm going to be streaming one of my best races there after this. But there's issues with the game. And a lot of their coverage sounds very biased, and I was pointing this out to them. And I told them, like, I love you guys. This is constructive criticism. Please take it as such. And sure enough, they did. Haha! Bro, you are hilarious because I didn't even say what content creators I like or hate. Every one of those motherfuckers is on my hate list for that reason and more. They're a bunch of pansies who are like wet cardboard with nothing important to say. All they do is toe the line and sell shit to kids. And they do content geared towards little kids with their editing style, their current thing speak. It's like, bro, get the fuck out of here. You're a grown man. Make content for people your own age. If kids find it, okay, but don't gear your content towards kids. Hate that shit, man. But yeah, this is just our first time lap, and you can just see how much more easier it is to flow this car through without having a trail on it all the time. Right? Just trying to milk kids for everything they can, dude. It's like, how do you fucking sleep at night? And I'll say that to their face. I've called lots of them out on that, and I'll get blocked by them immediately on X. But I don't care. Because it's time that shit changes, man. And yeah, big shout out for Overtake following us and standing behind us when they know the type of posts and stuff I say. So again, they're not afraid of being like, oh, I don't want to be associated with this guy. So big respect to them. Right, dude? Coming to change the game, bro. The only setups I won't share, and like I don't make an excuse and be like, oh, but I'll sell them. I won't share them if they are from my FIA source because I'm not the one making them. They're not for me to give out. He's giving them to me to use at a very high competitive level for our team. He's not giving them to me to give out. So those are the only setups I will not share, and I'm very upfront and honest about it. Everything else I will gladly give out on stream if someone asks me. Because at the end of the day, it's just about trying to raise the quality of racecraft, and the better setups people have, the more they can drive better, you know? Yeah, exactly. You get the idea. So first time lap already under a 34. We're 33.7, which is actually a little slow for me. I'm usually running low 33s or high 32s for my first time. But that's okay. That's still within acceptable reasons. So the only issues we're having with this setup right now is it's got a little bit of a squirrely rear as the tank lightens. But I softened it a bit and ticked it down a couple in terms of ride height, so we'll see if that might fix it. Because it's probably going to be something small, like as the tank is lightening, the rear might be raising too much and screwing up the aerodynamic calculation. Ah, that's hilarious, dude. Fucking hilarious. GT7 is not at all like a real sim. Like, I don't know why people would think they're gonna have skill going from GT7 to iRacing. That is fucking hilarious, bro. Like, iRacing, I know a guy. You can go back on the channel, Corey. We used to be friends with a guy named Mark Coffin, and he was an ex-SCCA race driver in real life. And we had a lot of streams with him racing in his private league and talking to him and picking his brain on what he thought of iRacing and sim racing compared to driving in real life. His answer was this: it's about 98% close. And the other 2% is only the physical sensation that you don't have when you're in the sim compared to being in the real world. But he said even with that 2% missing, he wishes that he had sim racing back when he was an active driver. He said he would have been at least 2 to 3 seconds faster on every track because of the simple reason that practice costs a lot of money. And sometimes when you go to a track day, a lot of people may be out on the track. Maybe you don't get as much practice time as you want. Now all of a sudden you've driven all this way, spent all this money, and then maybe you only get 2 hours of practice. So just that alone, and how close the tracks are to real tracks, he said he would have had so much more lap time on tracks just from the sim, giving him that time to practice that you don't get in the real world because nothing ever works out perfect, right? Oh, that was a giga Porsche S's, bro. Exactly, you know, dude. You're looking to do it. You know how much it's expensive. That's why we're trying to do like a 5-year plan to buy an LMP3 and then do some like gentleman racing with it around North America. Okay, second time lap, 31.8. See just how much more we can slash the lap time down with this setup. Our tires don't even really fully come in until the third lap. We're not even really at our peak yet for lap time. But you can see just how much more of a beastly setup this is. It's been much more refined than the base they originally gave us. Don't nearly have to be on the trail brake as much to earn the rotation. The car is just ready to do it. I wish. GT3, bro. I'm not the best GT3 driver. If someone offered me a seat in a Ligier LMP3, I'd be like, I'm there, now. I'd be there right now. You get me past medical, and I will be your best fucking driver. Because I don't have that fear. I do better in real life than I do in simulation. I do better with tactile in real life than I do in a game. So put me in a real car, I'm going to do the exact same thing I do in the sim without like that, oh my god, I'm in real life kind of now thing. So it's the same setup as Tuesday, Corey, but what it is I know a guy at the Canadian FIA. His name's Daniel. He's the head of Canadian esports for the FIA. He also helps with the VCO qualifiers for the broadcasted IMSA series that iRacing does. So obviously they have their own team. They enter a car in at these big events. And anytime they do, with the Porsche, he will give me their setups. So they had only kind of got it to a base level for the Majors 24 coming up on the 6th of June. And he sent me that base level. So now this is a more kind of refined version of that setup. He sent us 2 versions of a much more refined kind of dialed in version of what we had on Tuesday. So I've only tested one of them. No, it's not Daniel Morad. He has codes for iRacing that are used to fund Canadian esports at a grassroots level. He has thousands of them. They were given to him by iRacing. If you give him a $20 donation, this is all on the Canadian FIA esports website. You get a code for iRacing that's good for an entire year. And you also get a free F4 car. So we've hooked a lot of people up with that. But yeah, he's a great guy. It's not Daniel Morad, though. I wish. No, our Daniel's better, I tell you. Yeah, I'll check it out, bro. I've literally gotten stacked up DMs because when I'm not streaming, I'm either working on the farm or walking my dog. And if I don't have time to, like, sit down and actually answer people properly, I fucking hate just popping in and just, like, quickly glazing at something and then giving some half answer. So I try to avoid getting into, like, important conversations until I have the actual time to sit down, read the fucking DMs, and respond properly. And right now, I'm trying so hard to get this channel monetized. We're so freaking close, dude. And this is the ship that will raise all other sails. Slightly slower lap there. Still close. Now we should have some really good temp built up here. Now as the tank lightens over the next lap or two, we'll really start hitting our like peak times on a full tank. Well, near full tank. Yeah, Daniel Morad's awesome, man. Real Canadian driver. I grew up watching, like, IndyCar, and me and my dad went to the Molson Indy in Vancouver a lot. And then after I grew up, I really stopped watching racing and fell out of it and didn't do sim racing or anything outside of, like I said, like Gran Turismo on the original PlayStation, which I don't really consider a sim racing game, but... that felt like a good start to the lap. Yeah, he's a good streamer. And I like his Moradness team or whatever. Like, he actually gets guys into real racing, kind of like he does with, or kind of like Verstappen does. He gets guys into real racing and gives opportunity to people. So I love that kind of stuff, man. I'll always support people that do that stuff. You can see just how easier you can kind of strong arm this car and focus on the shortest possible line rather than having to avoid the curbs, you know what I mean? Oh man, he's got great gloves. I love SRP Pro, and their gloves are pretty good, but with how much I drive, I've beaten the shit out of my SRP Pro gloves, dude. But they're still good. It's just like, some people who make gloves are like next level gloves. Oh, that's hilarious. So I think this is only our third time lap. So this is probably a pretty good lap for only being 3 into the tank right now. And that's what we got to work on, is getting our time out quick, because we're going to be in against some really fucking good drivers. Oh, that was a monster Porsche Essence again. Oh, that is dope, dude. Oh, I touched the sand there. I had to lift a bit. Another 31. Probably would have been a lower 31 if I didn't hit the sand there and fuck my exit up. Man, you can really throw this thing through here. It just feels so much better. Now we can really drive the car through here. Now we got all the grip and the car's starting to hit its optimal kind of aero window as it lightens up a bit. Did a little, see, that's the gear flick I'm talking about. Just use the gear flick for that little bit of minute rotation you might need to make your line and exit that much better. That's Daniel fucking moron! That must have been hilarious. I would have been the same, dude. Canadian, let's go! Holy fuck, I exited out of there at 105. Holy shit, a minute 5. I almost exited out at 104. It was 104 to 105, a minute 4 to minute 5. That's fast, at least for me. Bro, our best guy on this track right now is James, one of our drivers who's in the 2000 range like I am. Guess what time he's running here? 3:26. Like, if you think I look decent here, that guy's fast. So he's going to be our primary. But all of us need to get as close as possible to that time. Because obviously that's clean air, perfect lap time, right? Your race pace will never match that, but we want our race pace to be as good as possible and not just depend on one fast driver. You never want to do that. The more you can make a team where all of your drivers are consistent and fast, the better you are. Excuse me, sorry guys. Bye, 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 bye. Another 31, 31.6. Practice, practice, practice. It's exactly it, dude. It's all the like fine nuance that really dictates a lap time like that. You know what I mean? And you don't get there by just wanting to be there. You have to work for it. And some people don't have the time. I'm lucky in a way to have disability that I can sit down and do this. I thoroughly enjoy it too. Like, I have fucking epilepsy. I smoke weed for my epilepsy. I have a damaged hip for life that I have to take methadone for. I'm driving on weed and methadone all the time. But I can do this apparently better than most people because I'm in like the top 5% of Le Mans and here as well. Give me enough time like the rest of these guys have had and I will get there eventually. You need the desire, you need to enjoy competition. You need to want to live in the moment when you're battling door to door. There's a lot going on here, more than just lap time. Oh, they gave me a slowdown because that was so savage. They're like, no, I can't have that. That was too savage. Brett. I need to figure out where the fine line is for that. See if we can bleed it here. The PMR slowdowns, dude, are so hard to get rid of. I got fucked the other day on Zolder with one. Gonna short shift it out of here. Oh, god damn it. It's not going down. There we go. Gonna have a slower lap because of that. NASCAR 25, baby. My dad's wanted to try it, but he loves oval and iRacing. It's so advanced in iRacing. Like, they do such a good job when it comes to, like, aerodynamics and, like, the draft and side draft. Oh, my God. It's so advanced in iRacing. It's crazy. Right? I have a hard time getting rid of the slowdowns in PMR. I need to figure out how to do it. Maybe I'll give that a try. Because I'm used to how you do it in iRacing, and to be fair, they don't really affect you in iRacing that much. Like, that maybe cost me a half a second, if that. Yeah, see, it was a low 32, so that probably cost me about a half a second, maybe a little more than a half a second. But the slowdowns in PMR, if you get a slowdown that's a 2.7 second slowdown, you're going to be slowed down for 2.7 seconds. Like, it's not easy to gamify it like you can in iRacing and just kind of cheat the system, which is a good thing in a way. It really is. Because the ones in iRacing are kind of just pointless. There's guys who can bleed them where you can't even tell. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that because I'm definitely worse at bleeding them in PMR, 100%. Oh yeah, there was a patch for PMR, eh? Eh? Eh, Hoser, there was a patch the other day, eh? I tried it. It is so much better performance-wise. And they updated the hypercars, dude, right after you and I were talking about that, Corey, whether or not they had updated them. They just did. And they feel much better now. Much, much better. It's funny, I went online. There was maybe 5, 8 guys. So I don't know if they did a ban wave. But there's like no one online right now. But apparently they fixed some of the AI. I have not tried it yet. So maybe that'll be a stream for tomorrow. Maybe we'll try the PMR patch tomorrow. God, I can't wait to get Sarth on PMR. My dad was saying that yesterday. He was like, God, I can't wait to see this in a modern sim. And I mean, Le Mans is modern, but it's not as graphically advanced as PMR. I mean, PMR can get flack, but it can't get flack for its graphics. Not on a high-end computer. It looks amazing. Giga! I can't wait, bro. I can't freaking wait. Road America looks really good, eh? Did you see the Road America update coming out?
They're showing it at the expo or whatever. That looks good. I know it's not called Road America, but like, who cares? As a 31.5, while we're still half tank heavy. Awesome. I'll have to check it out. Because I was looking at it on X. Is it the X link or is it a different link? But yeah, I can't wait to see Road America. I know it's not called Road America. It's Rocky something, but I love that track, man. I can't wait to start getting some more actual IMSA content in the game rather than just a few tracks. Like, get all the IMSA tracks in there and start running some vintage IMSA. Oh, that would be epic as hell. And the repair functionality in that game is the best out of any sim I've seen so far. Oh, I'll have to check it out. Because there was just a post on X that I saw about it. Oh my god! Bro! How do they keep hitting me with this slow-mo slowdown? They're hating on my line there, dude. I'm not liking these guys. Oh my god, track marshal. What's your problem with me? Doing the advanced savage line, okay? Oh my god. Go away, you stupid fucking slowdown. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna give in to the slowdown. I'm just gonna go and we're gonna get the fucking black flag because I want to see what lap time we were gonna pull. Oh, we're in trouble now, boys. So we're going to have to watch the clock down in the bottom right when we cross the line. Because we have a black flag, it's not going to record the lap time here. Oh, that would have been like a really low 31, and if I didn't screw that exit up, that would have been a 30. It's a big black flag. The fucking pirates are coming for me, dude. I'm in trouble. Yeah, it was something like it was something low 31, like under 31.5. I know that. Oh my god, that was crazy. I felt the rear getting a little scary there. That could have been because how hard I was pushing through there. I didn't get it that time. I think I know what it is. I think that second curb we grab and cut, I think we have to make sure half of that car stays on the white line that's kind of on the outside of that curb. I think that's what it is. How much we got in the tank? 2 laps remaining. Okay, that's why it's squirrely. So that's better. I didn't even notice it getting squirrely until I really pushed there, and we're light right now. And our tires are towards the end of their stint as well. Yeah, exactly. It's a slightly different line, obviously. Oh, that was giga. Yeah, this is the setup right here. I don't even need to play around with the other one. That'd have been it. What the hell? Oh yeah, it's because we got the black flag. They're not going to count our laps. Okay, we'll do one more and then we're done. Yeehaw! No, I don't want to clear the flag. I'm going to get myself DQ'd, okay? Can't tell me what to do. This is our last lap in the tank anyway, so we're just going to finish this lap and then we're done. And then we get to watch the most intense ELMS race I've ever had. Even more so than Monza. Oh my God, I came out of there at 103 to 104. Jesus Christ. It's gonna be a fast lap. As long as I don't pud fuck it here. Okay, I figured it out. I know exactly now why I was getting the slowdown. Average streamer reaction. Yeah, that felt good. That line felt good, dude. And that's what I mean. It's all the nuance refinement that really starts to pick you up lap time after you hit kind of a wall. It's about, oh, well, what if I just brake a little less? What if I roll through 5 kilometers an hour faster? What if I adjust my line from here to here? If you can think like that and analyze your driving all the time, that's exactly what the guy who did the physics for ACC, that's what he said an actual alien is. And that was on a live stream. And ever since I heard him say that, it connected with me. I'm like, that's 100% true. Outside of that, it's just muscle memory, and anyone can repetitively start to get that down. Oh my god, that was the best Porsche S's I think I've ever done in this layout. In Le Mans, I'm way faster through there. Oh, that would have been like a low, really low 31 or a high 30.9 or something. Alrighty, so I think that solved the setup dilemma. So it's at 1.4 in the tank. Right, fucking bug, get off my window. Oh my god. Bit of poo on my window. You're fucking off my screen. There we go. But yeah, I think that definitely solved the rear end getting squirrely as the tank lightened. So just for posterity's sake, what I did was I lowered the rear just enough ticks so that when it got lighter on fuel, it wasn't getting too high at the rear. And after that, all I did was loosen the rear third spring, and that was it. That's all it took. So sometimes it's just little things, minute adjustments. And when you're running a really heavy fuel tank, sometimes it'll feel good when there's a lot of fuel in the car because it's lower where it's supposed to be. But as it lightens, that's where the problem comes in, and you start feeling like, why is my car getting sketchier and sketchier as the fuel goes? Well, sometimes that's why. Most of the time, that's why. All right, so now we're going to watch my ELMS race from yesterday, because, you know, when you get a good race in Le Mans, there's just nothing like it at a high level, I should say. This is the ELMS Pro Race Control Pro Series in Le Mans. And with the driver rating we have, this was like a very high split. I think this was either split 2 or 1. We had a lot of really talented guys in this race. And the qualifier, I spun on what was my best lap. I spun, and I thought I wasn't going to have enough time to cross the line to get another flyer. I crossed the line with 1 second left. Like, it was counting down, about to roll down and end the session. And if you cross the line after the session ends in Le Mans, you don't get another lap. So I crossed, and it counts because then you get the overtime. And sure enough, I pulled out a fast enough lap to jump up into 4th place and you steal, I think 6 spots because I was in dead last. So it was a really good qualifier that I've actually, probably my best qualifier where I've actually put the car in a much higher spot. Come on, stream, update now. Hate when this does this. It takes frickin' forever to update to Le Mans. Hold up. There it goes. Okay. But yeah, this was a really, really insane race. And that's one of my weaknesses, and it's slowly becoming less and less of a weakness, is my qualifying pace and my ability to jump right out the gate fast. I used to get overtaken by a lot of cars, just give up position, slowly ramp up. You can't do that. You got to be quick out the gate, or you're going to get eaten alive. And once guys get a lead, it's very hard to get it back at a higher level. So there's a lot of habits you do at a lower level that won't work as you start to climb. And it's about shaking those habits and advancing and becoming a better driver. Otherwise, you're going to go nowhere. So, okay, here's formation lap. So we ended up qualifying in 5th. This was on Silverstone. And in ELMS, we're, I think, one of the only 2 Ligier LMP3s in this. So this race was for silver too. If we did good here, we were going to get silver too. So now that we're watching this, I can get rid of my pedal cam. And face cam, and just go audio mode. Come on, why are we... Fucking formation lap, let's go. Come on now. Okay, there we go. But yeah, shout out to all the drivers in this, because this was a slobber knocker, is all I'm going to say. I wouldn't be playing back this replay if it wasn't incredibly entertaining. And there was stuff, like this was one where I had to do pretty much my very limits of what I could do, or I would have lost hard and been overtaken or wrecked out. And you'll see what I mean by that. It gets insane. And you can see when you get a good field of guys who are always racing together, because again, this is like a kind of a closed community at the higher splits. You're always kind of racing together. And when you get LMP3s that are used to the LMP2s, and the LMP2s are used to the LMP3s, and blah, 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 you all can really
make some insane traffic moves. And trust me, that happens here. Yes, the worst part is people who can't hold a line. They get so psyched on what they're doing. They get so, like, tunnel visioned, I think is a good word for it, where they're just immediately turning in. They're not thinking, is there a car beside me? Do I need to hold my line, stick to my line, and potentially have a car beside me? Like, they don't think like that. There's no thought. It's just drive. So, with that said, I'll still be talking on and off, but enjoy the race. I mean, I could commentate it too, couldn't I? We got Alecki with SV Akin behind. We got a couple cars off. Shevchenko off on the track there. Andrew picks up P2. Looks like we got an LMP2 off to the side as well. But look at that grid. Look how thick that is. It don't lighten up either. This one gets mental. And yeah, Corey, the only good thing about Le Mans going to console is people like you will get to enjoy it. Oh, sweet. Dude, mine's a 43-inch too. It's the perfect screen for single screen, in my opinion. So Shevchenko is the driver from Monza that we finished in front of. So him and I are like always neck and neck. 3,000 driving hours, dude. That's insane. That's the other thing. Remember the other day I was talking about how every discipline teaches you something that you need to know. NASCAR is so good at teaching you how to hold a line in tight formation. I'm just going to go quickly pee and refresh the screen. I'll be right back, bro. Oh my God, bro, I'm so glad you said that. I've had moments where I'm like, you know, I'm 38, 39. I'm 39 because I had to look at it. But yeah, sometimes I get caught and I literally don't fucking remember my age. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm 38, 39. Just, you know, play it off like you're fucking not stupid and have like major brain damaging issues. But yeah, you just kind of play it off like you're smart. And you go, yeah, 38, 39. Makes you sound more intelligent than me. Like, I don't know, it's my own birthday. But yeah, that's just fact, dude. Happens to me. You get older, your brain gets scrambled. Especially with the seizures I've had and shit. Potential substance abuse, maybe. But yeah. Mostly old age. Let's stick with that.
But yeah, you can see me and Shevchenko have pulled away here. But like usual, traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. So at this point, Shevchenko got around. I made enough minor mistakes for him to take advantage of it and get in front. But at this point, I feel like I'm looking at my delta, and I'm like, we've got a good gap behind. If I start battling this guy, that 3-second gap behind us is going to shrink. And then we got to cluster again. So at this point, I'm looking forward to trying to spread our gap out so when we do hit traffic, we don't get caught from behind. But it might not work out perfectly here. It might turn into the biggest cluster F all running through traffic at the same time, but you don't know. I'm not going to spoil it. Not going to spoil it. But there's two guys who are on the same team, Shevchenko and one other guy. And they were both in Monza. And I think they finished, one finished ahead of me, the other finished behind. I think Shevchenko was the one that finished behind me. But I don't think his partner was in this one. And after this, I'll show you why this is a really cool series. Like, the Race Control Pro aspect of Le Mans Ultimate is the best part of Le Mans Ultimate. Because it's the most scrutinized, and it's like it's run as a series. Like, week 1, week 2, week 3, and it's all done on a leaderboard. And then at the end, whoever wins, you get, like, a certificate. And, like, the first 3 seasons when it started up and there wasn't that many people doing it, I won every one for the FIA WEC, and I got Best Hypercar Driver in Canada. This one, I haven't done in a long time. I finally came back, and I've only missed 2 weeks in this one, and we're top 10 right now. Yeah, the Race Control Pro Plus service is the best part of Le Mans because it gives you like an actual structured series where you're always racing the same guys. It's got purpose to it because you want to be the #1 guy who gets that certificate and says, like, I was the best this season. So, in my opinion, it gets you closest to that feeling of, like, real competition. Does that make sense? Oh, and don't worry about getting a team, dude. If you want to join our team, or you mean start your own team, that's another thing. But, yeah, we always bring in new talent. We do driver development, and you sound like you got a good background, so. I'm pretty sure Le Mans is getting closer and closer to getting on console as well. And one thing I will say about Le Mans over PMR, it performs very well. Like, it runs very well. You get a very high frame rate here. And high frame rate is very important in any kind of competitive game, but sim racing, it's a must. So as you see, this is important for me to call out. This LMP2 that just passed me, he tried to hit me, and watch, he starts intentionally slowing down here and trying to fuck with me and Shevchenko. I don't know why. This guy was in, like, dead last. He must have got wrecked and come out of the pits. And he was just trolling me and Shevchenko here. And now you'll start to see cars from behind start catching us. I don't know if he was intentionally trying to slow us for someone. I don't know, but it got fucking annoying. Dude, I've only gotten like one solo win in iRacing, and then Sebring in Daytona as a team win. So I've only got 3 wins. In Le Mans, I've got like maybe 7 wins. So I don't have many. And most of them are from when I was at a lower level, right? Like, there's so many good people in sim racing. Getting 1 win is impressive. Being consistent in a top 5 position is impressive. The problem is a lot of these, like, go-hard streamers who do nothing else but stream, they make it so all of their content is focused on perfection and winning. That's a terrible way to go. We make our content about the journey. And look, you can see this LMP2 is literally, like, slowing down to try to fuck with me here.
Remember, I'm in an LMP3. He's in an LMP2. He shouldn't be anywhere near me, speed-wise. He should be gone at this point. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I think my dad's got more wins in iRacing than I do. But he's crazy. He's got them spread out. He's got, like, oval wins. He's got dirt truck wins. I think he's got dirt oval wins. But yeah, I think this LMP2 was trolling or trying to slow us. And you can see it's knocked off a lot of time on the cars behind us. So I hope someone reported the guy. I can't remember what his name was. And I can't remember if he trolls later into the event as well. But yeah, you make it about the journey, and then everyone gets invested into it. They want to see you succeed. They want to see you improve. And then when you do well, everyone's like, fuck yeah. But yeah, now, look, we got Pope catching us. We got Hunter 2 seconds off. And now all of a sudden that LMP2 is just taking off again. So now I'm watching it back. It looks a lot more like maybe he was slowing us on purpose. But we just didn't give in. We didn't play games with him, try to battle it out with him. We just let him go. How does NASCAR do the trucks? Like, that's the thing, dude. iRacing, the oval is so good in it. It's just next level. I have heard a lot of mixed stuff, though, about, like, NASCAR 25, but I just don't play it myself, and I don't know anyone personally who plays it. So it's hard for me to, like, get a good idea of what it's like. So one reason why not many people, unless they're hardcore, do these LMP3s, a tank is about 40 laps. So a tank being about 40 laps, you're always looking at a stint that's over an hour long without stopping. You have to be so switched on and so fucking perfect in these cars. And it's hard for a lot of people. Due to that, obviously, you also have tires that become a lot more worn down. Bro, the spotter in iRacing does that sometimes. Whenever my dad's days off are, when he's racing, I'll sit with him and I will spot for him live. Like, I'll watch his mirror, I'll watch his, like, everything, and it helps. And if I'm, like, the other day when I did this race, and my dad was on his day off, and he sat with me and helped me spot and come with strategy. We always help each other. I find it definitely helps because you're right. The spotter in iRacing can get it wrong, so I'm not surprised that the spotter in NASCAR can get it wrong too. See, and that was my biggest weakness too. I'm not good at short racing. I do endurance racing. But that caused my weakness of not being fast right away and taking too long to ramp up. And now you can see that I'm improving my pace at which I ramp up too, and how quickly I can get there. I'm not getting swallowed alive so much. Shitty spotter makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense, bro. It literally makes sense. It's lore appropriate with iRacing. But now we got Pope and Hunter pushing hard. Hunter's pushing Pope, and Hunter's in Pope's draft, so we got two guys with a slight advantage on us behind. But we are pushing as hard as you can. And if you look at the mini-map, you can see we still got a while to traffic. At these higher splits, a lot of these GTs are quick. It doesn't mean there's some out there that are absolutely brickhead retarded. Yeah, exactly. It's endurance. It's not a sprint. There's such a fine line of not overdriving and not underdriving, and that's that fine balance that you're always looking for. I'd say before I kind of underdrove too much and allowed myself the luxury of taking too long to ramp up. But
it's still an endurance race. You still want to not be at 100% all the time. You still need to pace yourself, but you have to kind of find that balance of not giving yourself too much complacency on pacing yourself, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, here, if I let off, these guys are on me like flies on shit, right? Oh, GT3s are not slow, bro. They are fast, especially the unrestricted ones in PMR. You get to drive, like, the actual unrestricted GTs and tweak the gears and stuff and really see what those cars can do. They are fast, bro. So these are the LM GT3s, which I think are the most restricted GTs. The Le Mans GT3s. Bro, I agree 100%. Like, I want to be able to get out of my car and slap a dude. You know what I mean? When do we get that level of VR? Like, I'd be all in then. I'd deal with the motion sickness then. If I could slap a fool, I'll deal with motion sickness. Let's take some gravel, yo. So this is where we kind of started to realize we had to push. We had up to 3 cars gaining on us, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So now it's like dial up, go. And if you look on the map where we are, we're just behind P2, where that little purple arrow. And you can see just how far away the GT traffic is. So we have all that way to go before we have any hope of losing these guys through traffic. Right, tackle a pit crew, dude, that'd be amazing. Like, give me some tactile interaction with VR, dude. I'm there. I'm there. Like, dude, screaming at the guy, we got like a half a second out of that pit crew the other day. It was awesome. The AI heard us, and they're like, okay, well, hurry up. But yeah, look how many people drive the Ginetta. If you look up where it says race in the clock timer in the top left, almost everyone is in the Ginetta. So that reminds me, you know what? I've said this for a long time. iRacing is not even rated by the ESRB. And by default, all online interactions are unrated. You can look this up. iRacing has no grounds to ban you from voice chat because you swear. Sure, if you're like threatening to kill someone, of course. But no one should be able to report you for foul language because all online interactions are unfucking rated. You have no legal like grounds to be banning people based off of voice chat that you have to fucking opt into. So not only are online interactions unrated, but you literally have to opt in to the voice chat in iRacing. It's not automatically on. And yet they feel like they can fucking voice ban you. It's insane. Like, I should be like, you're a fucking idiot. What did you do that for? I can't say that. I'll get banned before the other guy. And that's the problem. But the problem is, again, they don't have competition. I love iRacing, but what is best for sim racing is for competition to happen so they can't feel like they can get away with whatever they want. Right? And, like, that's like a funny kind of laughy like, joke. Like, we're not even in a pit lane. I'm going to beat the shit out of you in the pit lane. It's a joke. But some little fucking loofah waffle is going to go get upset by it in Fairyland and report you, and they'll act on it. Look at that LMP2 livery. What the hell's that? But yeah, there's a back. I think that's a back marker LMP2. Or no, that's the leader LMP2. So he has just started to pass through myself and the lead. So this race gets dark. This one goes night. And once it goes night, we'll be going cockpit cam. Oh, I know, dude. It is insane. Like, the era I grew up in the 80s and stuff, and in Vancouver, which was like a cultural melting pot, we all ragged on each other. Like, back then I had a thick Irish accent. And, like, I had East Indian friends, I had Chinese friends. We all ragged on each other and bonded through that. And, like, nowadays, how sensitive people are, it's all by design. Like, movies like shows like In Living Color or movies like Rush Hour are about bonding through cultural differences by using humor to do so. But the powers that be don't like that shit. They want everyone so sensitive that it's a fucking boiling pot and you can't say anything without some fanaticized snowflake losing their fucking shit. Because that's about division. That's what they want. And people play into it. They fall for it every fucking time. One sec, mister. Oh my god, that is so true, dude. Monty Python, I grew up on that shit. Dennis Leary, I'm an asshole. That song would offend people today. Like, oh my god, like, I park in handicapped spaces to watch handicapped people make handicapped faces. I'm an asshole. Like, that should be inscribed on the wall of a building somewhere. It is that legendary of a fucking lyric. My god, you can't say anything like that nowadays, or you're gonna offend fucking everyone. And I'm disabled, bro, so I can say what the fuck I want about my kind. But yeah, it's so true. Monty Python was some of the best stuff I grew up on. I love that. My dad, my grandmother showed me that when I was young. Life of Brian, all that. Meaning of Life, oh my god. In Living Color was good. That was when the Wayans brothers were funny and when Jim Carrey was at his best. The early In Living Color. I just gotta take Trigger out to the bathroom, bro. I'll be back in a bit. I do park in spaces in studio spaces. And I'm a handicapped person myself, bro. I got a handicap sticker for epilepsy. And I can say you, I approve of this message. I'll be right back. All right, chat, we are back. Trigger murdered another gopher. He was just swimming in the ditch. He got all covered in dirt. He buries him with his nose, and then his face just gets covered in dirt. I'm just grabbing a drink, boys. But as you can see, we are in the pits for our stop, and that is 37 laps in. And I think, Dad, we had one in the tank left, right? When we came in? Because we had noticed the leader pitted. And if we came in and pitted after him, we would have been undercut too much, I think. So we made the decision to pit on the lap when the leader did. Sorry, heated up my coffee, got the fucking Reese's Pieces snack on. But yeah, this is where it started to get really dark. But this was not one of the worst tracks, honestly. It wasn't overly dark. There was enough ambient light here. It wasn't too bad. But I could have maybe had a better pit strategy. But right now, it's basically the battle is on for a podium position. This was a setup that I refined probably over the week, and it's probably one of my best LMP3 setups yet that I've made. It felt really good here. And obviously you can see it's fairly competitive. The reason why I myself really enjoy driving these LMP3s, I'd say LMP3 and Hypercar are my two obviously main classes I prefer and feel best at. But then obviously I enjoy the vintage stuff too. But why I enjoy driving the LMP3 here is because these cars are not overly fast through traffic. They're not something you can just rely on the brute power as soon as you hit a straight and you can just go by the GTs. In my opinion, this is a very good car to drive if you want to learn mixed class traffic management. And the reason why I say this is because of what I just said about how they don't have just brute force to get by GTs. You have to really, and I mean really, plan your traffic movement, your traffic management, your distance management. You have to plan it all in advance and very, very well. So this is the kind of car class that's going to really help you get better at picking your moments to get through traffic, how to line them up, how to manage your distance accordingly to line them up at a right moment to get by them. So I would say 100% if you are interested in mixed class racing, drive LMP3s in the ELMS series, and it will teach you so much about traffic management. Yeah, there was a couple GTs that I felt like were intentionally slowing me, and then there was ones that were just honestly in a battle that I had to kind of concede to. Because at a point you have to understand that traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. I can't just smash someone out of my way to get a better position if they're in the middle of a battle, right? Like, there's a line you have to draw. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, my dad helps me with that, so he'll watch my relative. Like, I'll pull my relative up when I'm doing Le Mans, or I'll have my stream watch my relative, and then they can alert me when traffic's coming. Because it's better to have that and just stay 100% focused on what you're doing in the car, and then have that information fed to you. Because if you pull out at the wrong time when you got a hypercar or an LMP coming up, it's just going to make smack. It's funny because one of my, I'd say maybe my favorite class when I started, and still is one of my favorite classes, is GT3. The reason why I stopped racing GT3 is one of the guys on our team, one of the captains and co-founders, Phil and Jojo, shout out to those guys, they suggested in iRacing maybe when we do mixed class, if we pick the LMP2 or we pick a hypercar, maybe we're going to get put in a higher split. Maybe we'll get better races. So then we literally started to do that. And because we were doing a different class of cars that had to be included in a series that had a full mixed grid, it would automatically place you in a higher split. Because a lot of the lower grids in mixed class will be just GT3s. So that's kind of the funny way we started driving other classes. And for me, it just stuck. And I felt like, oh, I do better in these anyways. You really got to have that kind of help at a higher level. You know what I mean? It really helps a lot. These were things we didn't even consider when we started the team, to be honest. How it started with us is we were all just learning, eating shit the first year, and started to do events. Like the best example was Spa. In the LMP2 we were doing, in the mixed class at Spa. One of our drivers, Phil, was out on the track ripping. He asked how much fuel he had left. No one answered him. So he went to look, and he cycled into it. He cycled his black boxes and looked at the worst time, put it into the wall. And he felt so bad. He was so mad at himself that he got up, walked away. We had to put someone else in the car because he had to walk it off. But what we told Phil when he got back was, no, dude, that was not your fault. That was our fault. That was our failure. You needed someone to remind you, to reassure you what was left in the tank so you could just do your job and drive. And no one responded to you. So that was us. That was a team failure. And from that moment on, we started to engineer for each other. And after that, it was like really like obvious, why didn't we do this from the start kind of thing. So I'm trying to think. Help me decide, Corey. So tomorrow, do we do patch day PMR stream, test out the new AI, try out the online, see if it's what's going on, or do we do the most insane series in iRacing history that I've ever seen, and it is the IMSA mixed class, so LMP2, GT3, and Hypercar on the Nürburgring combined. Imagine how fucking insane that would be. I don't know if you've seen my previous LMP3 races in the LMP3 trophy in iRacing on the Nords. Imagine that in the Porsche Hypercar with a top split, full mixed grid. So do we do that or PMR patch day? Oh, if he understands racing, then that's the best kind of person for that. You just got to slowly kind of brainwash him into it to make him want it without even him realizing that he wanted it. iRacing. Okay, we'll do an IMSA tomorrow. We'll do it in our Porsche Hypercar. It's funny, too, because I've never driven a Hypercar. We'll do the 499P. Okay, I'll do it. I don't mind losing a bit of rating. Like, I'm at 2,500 I rating. I don't mind if I lose, like, 50 I rating. But I don't know if we'll lose because I'm good on the Nords and I'm good in a Hypercar. But I have never put those two together. It's a fucking insane opportunity that I got to try. Like, that's why I was kind of like, please pick it. But yeah, now you can see we're trying our best to flow through this traffic as quick as possible because we know we're under the 20-minute mark. We got Wielderin closing in on us. And it's push time at this moment. Well, the one reason why rating is important is prestige. And it gets you attention. It gets you racing against drivers who are at a higher level, and it's going to make you get better. And I will tell you where rating stops being important. And it's probably above, like, around 3,000 I rating. Because with 2,500 I rating, unless, like, it's someone who's, like, an absolute god, I can keep up with guys and have beat guys that are at, like, 6K, 4K. But then there's other guys who are at 6,000 or 4,000 that just destroy me, right? So a lot of the time it is a good indicator, and a lot of times it isn't. But the only reason it really matters is because it unlocks opportunity, and it makes you kind of stand out, and it gets you attention. It's really all it is. You know what I mean? But at a certain level, it does start to get you better racing. Like, look at the LMP3 trophy races I did in top split, and you will see what I mean by it matters at a certain point. Like, look at this stuff. It just gets nuts through traffic. No, what I mean is it gets you in against guys like professional drivers. Like, a lot of the best races I have had are in top split against guys who drive in the real world. I don't care about someone's, like, following or a big streamer. That's great, too, if you show up on, like, the relative of someone's big stream, or you're racing them and they see you on the stream. That's cool. But I'm like, I want competition. I want insane racing. And you get that when you get against guys who do this in the real world. And those are what higher split races are worth, in my opinion. But like I said, once you get to about 3,000 I rating, just stacking it, like, up to 10K, like, it doesn't mean you're better. It just means you are good at grinding and climbing. But yeah, now this is crunch time. Now we got Van Wielden right on our ass. Well, I guess that's a good point. Sorry, because Verstappen and Jimmy drive in real life. So I see what you're saying. But yeah, that's what matters to me about rating. Is it opens up doors. It's prestige. You're going to be taken more seriously, and you get to race against people who are going to give you insanely good racing. But then on the other hand, you have these kids with no fucking life who just sit there and crash out and have incident after incident. But no matter what happens, they climb. And those people, rating means nothing. Yeah, see, that's what I thought you meant. After I thought about it for a second, I was like, oh, wait, he's basically saying what I just said. I don't know how to get rid of the delay on YouTube. On X, we have a shorter delay, but it's always been a pain in the ass here on YouTube. It's a longer delay. I don't know why. Excuse me. Let's go back to cockpit view now for the last 13 minutes. Man, I don't like the sound of this Toyota V6. The old LMP3, the old Ligier, the last generation Ligier in iRacing, has the V8 in it, and it sounds better. If you go watch my LMP3 trophy races and listen to that Ligier, oh, it sounds so good. This Toyota V6, it's just like, it's so boring. Right? Literally. This is something that's interesting, Corey. The only sim that works very good with Discord is iRacing. Le Mans lags like absolute shit with Discord. And PMR does the same thing if you go into online. It's really weird. Le Mans used to work also very good with an external app called Crew Chief. I don't know if you heard of it, but Crew Chief is an external app that you can run in any game and it'll give you a live spotter. It used to work really good in Le Mans. But here's the thing, there is some argument for this, why they got rid of it, or they don't really support it. Let me just say that. So now if you use it, it lags the game really bad. But they also don't really like to support people making external force feedback apps for the game. Now, this is the decision I don't agree with, is when it comes to their force feedback problem. So, someone made an app for Le Mans Ultimate called the Le Mans Ultimate Force Feedback app. And what it did was it changed it so that your wheel used telemetry-based force feedback. Le Mans does not use telemetry-based force feedback, but some very expensive wheels will by default use telemetry-based force feedback. So someone made an app for Le Mans, a force feedback app, that no matter what wheelbase you used, it gave you telemetry-based force feedback. The devs called this cheating. Now, I didn't agree with this. This was bullshit. Because all that is doing is giving you something that you would feel in real life and that expensive wheelbases already have access to. But they applied the same kind of philosophy to Crew Chief. They say that you don't have a live active spotter in your ear all the time on a lot of tracks. You don't have that, which to me was shocking. I figured in nowadays age that teams would have like drones in the air and live spot for their drivers, but apparently it's not a thing. So that's why they don't really quote unquote support Crew Chief anymore, is because they consider it the same way as kind of like cheating. Now, you can look at that however you want, but at a certain point it's a little silly because you allow drivers to use third-person camera or hood camera or driving assists in ranked play. And that's okay. You allow drivers to Alt F4 to take advantage of a known exploit to avoid damage and instantly put you in the pits that developers have said in the Le Mans Discord that you can't report people for, but that's acceptable. But apparently telemetry-based force feedback and a live spotter is where they draw the line. So this is what I mean about Le Mans Ultimate. The game's amazing, but the devs are a little crazy sometimes. Oh, they're Weck and Imps have cameras all over the cars. There's a good counterpoint. See, this is where I like people in my chat who have more motorsport knowledge than me, because I don't know that kind of stuff. So that's a really good kind of counterpoint. A little bit, right? Like it's a little bit of that. So this is where Wheeldon kind of pulled away from us. We had an opportunity to catch him, but this GT traffic kind of put a gap between us and him. Now for the last 9, we really go for it here to see if we can catch him back. And shout out to Wheeldon, Shevchenko, Vasilo, Hunter. Great drivers that I just love doing this series with. Atkin is an absolute douchebag, but he ain't that fast. He never bothers anyone. He's just like this cute little slow dude. Do I follow Ferrari? No, I don't follow Ferrari on YouTube. I need to start following more like motorsport channels. Oh, really? That is freaking awesome. Because I know they charge to watch that stuff, and I'll look up like watch sports online free and just like get it from somewhere that's running like pirate channels. But that is way better. So one thing, it looks like they have fixed the delta in replay, which is great, because it makes watching a replay more exciting and better to kind of interact with and explain and commentate on. Before, the relative and timing in replay was screwed. So that's a good sign. I like to see that. Hey, we got to sail the seas of piracy, bro. We grew up in that era where Napster just came out, and we were like, hey, we can finally download Safety Dance now. It's how we live. It's how we were raised, bro. Let me have my Safety Dance, dude. So this is where we start chasing them down. This is where we're giving it all. And if I remember correctly, we almost have him here, and then we get a shitty GT timing that he gets better than us. But I am just sending this thing full on fucking express post at this point. Right, dude? We don't have Metallica coming after us here. Lars can just eat a dick. It's sharing or selling that's illegal, right? How dare you? We definitely had pace on him at certain parts of the track. But it's funny, look up in race where it says that we only got 6 minutes left. We are the highest placing Ligier every single week. There's no one that drives a Ligier and finishes in a higher position than us. It's hilarious. Fuck Lars, right, bro? Let's go. Hashtag fuck Lars. I remember when pirated music started and they were like saying they were going to sue everyone who downloaded Metallica. It's like, ooh, Metallica, ooh. They're going to come and get us, ooh. So there, that was the really important timing he got over us. And this GT was not going to get out of our way, which is fine. He's trying to race his own race. He's trying to chase this guy down. We can't expect him to, right? But here's what pisses me off is I got the inside here. I go for it. I get around him. And I run it a little wide and screw my exit. And now I couldn't close the gap soon enough on this car ahead of me to get around it at an important moment. And this is kind of where he starts to get that gap back. Because if I had have been a little closer before hitting this point, I could have got the pass done sooner, which is really what decided if I was able to catch him in the final 5 minutes or not here. But sometimes you just got to accept that you've made a mistake, do your best. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But still, this was a hell of a race for me. See, I should have been around this car already. This is where he was able to re-extend that gap. But again, that's first place and second place battling. You can only do so much in that moment. And again, that's on me for not lining up a better exit and getting better timing on that pass. If I had been able to keep that gap within a second, it might have been a little more realistic to catch him. We do regain up to him, but we just run out of time to make a move here. Exactly. I just wasn't able to get it done at the right moment. And that's what I do is I will trace back as far as possible where it's my mistake that led to the current situation, and then I will learn from that mistake. The moment you start blaming everything and everyone else for you not being able to climb or finish good, you will go nowhere. I think we close the gap here close, and then I think we run into like a wall of fucking GTs. I think I remember this. I remember at this point my dad's just sitting beside me, razzing me right now, going, okay, dude, I'm gonna need a little bit more out of you here. Gonna need a little bit more out of you here, dude. And I'm like, shut up, I'm fucking sending this shit, dude. If I hear a loud bang, I know it wasn't my fault, right? Literally. So that's one thing the netcode in Le Mans does better, is that it allows door-to-door racing and kind of door banging and real racing, real hard racing. Because of the netcode and how it operates differently from iRacing, that's the benefit of it. See, I flash him here to try to distract him into this corner, and it works. He looked, and it was the best strategy. Now, I could have had him, but look at this fucking line of GTs coming up, bro. Like braking early due to traffic ahead. Bro. Dude. Bro. You're describing how we literally lost the 6 hours of Spa in the last 20 minutes. I came out of the final chicane onto the straight at Spa in a hypercar, and a GT just ran through my asshole because I had traffic in front of me and put us in the pits for like 12 minutes. And we went into like 8th place instead of winning it. Yeah, this is where he gets a good pass done on traffic and we just get shut out. This is the deciding moment, I think, right here, is he gets better timing on this set of traffic. He's ballsy, and I think he goes for this one here. And I think this Porsche might shut us out or something. I can't remember. Yeah, I try to go up the inside here, and he just cuts. And I'm like, fuck. And now I just got to get around him here, but then we got 3 more. But this is like, in the last minute, if you don't stay right on someone's ass, it's going to be really hard to get that real estate back so that you can be in a position to make a move. Yeah, see, I think he gets around these ones. At least a couple of them, and we get a little more stuck. But this is the type of racing that you get. High-level race control pro in Le Mans. It's as close as you get to, like, real racing, in my opinion. And this is where Le Mans really succeeds. Like, this is just nuts. This is, like, high-speed chase shit right here. And this car almost kills me here. And then runs into my rear, and look, just because he wanted to hit me, he spins out and takes out everyone behind us. Because he didn't like me passing him or some shit. And that's what I mean about ego, where people can't control that immediate impulse. Oh, fuck that guy. Watch this. Look at this. We're like touching, and that car almost spun right in. Like, dude, this was cinema shit. Yeah, so now we've got a fucked bumper. And now I'm seeing 20 seconds, and I'm like, oh, that was it. That was the final battle right there. And it was fun. That was like I said, that was probably the most intense, high-speed action I've had in Le Mans yet. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. And in that moment, a P4 just outside of the podium, I was a little upset, but at the same time, I was very happy because that was one hell of a race. Outside of a couple dickbag GTs and that trolling LMP2, some of the best driving. And at this point, we're on the last lap. He's got that gap. We're not going to be able to close it. It's just about riding the last lap out, being consistent, and bringing it home in 4th. But yeah, it's funny that what that guy did. I mean, I like to win, sure, but I raced exactly. And if you don't race to finish, you can't win a race that you don't finish. So again, it comes back to that conversation about that fine line. You have to ride a fine line between being willing to risk it all and being willing and happy to take the finish you've got. But yeah, the way that guy hit me from behind is the same way that GT3 hit us at the 6 hours of spot and ruined our win. Me and Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. But yeah, just super annoying. But you can see how different this game handles car contact. We didn't just go flying. He went flying. Dude, there's a lot to like about PMR, and the better it gets, I hope it can bring people back. There's another exit we slightly screwed up by running a little wide there. And that is it, everyone. That was the race. So now, before we end the stream, I quickly want to show you, Corey, how the whole Race Control Pro thing operates, because when it comes to console, I'm sure this will be your favorite part. So obviously you get your dailies, your weeklies, and your special events. Online championships. This is what I mean by Race Control Pro. So you can see the one I'm actively in right now is the European Le Mans Series. These are all the other available ones. There's lots. So you have the 2.4 hour series, which is advanced. You have to have gold to get into this. Then there's a couple beginners. We got GT3 only. We got LMP3 only. We got Prototype Challenge. And then we got another advanced one, which is WEC, but team-based. So all of those are Race Control Pro championships. So how this operates is every week you get a list of time slots. You enter into that time slot, you do your race. And then it goes through like week round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the rounds. And each week you get points. So this is the standings right here. As you can see, we're in top 10 overall right now. And we missed out on these 2 weeks, which was Barcelona and I think Imola. We have one round left, which is Spa, and we're sitting at 12-15. So if we have a good finish here, we might be able to jump into the top 10, but we missed 2 weeks, which was important here. So this is where you get the best racing, because this is where like real world drivers are. This is where people who take it more seriously are. And the races are at least an hour, 40 minutes, except for the 2 hour, 40-minute series. So this is where Le Mans is at its best, in my opinion. And yeah, tomorrow, Corey, we'll be back with some iRacing, doing the Nords in IMSA mixed class. And I'll probably just do that one race, and then we'll hop in maybe PMR, do some PMR on stream too. Thanks for coming, hanging out, Corey. It's always a good time. And I will see you tomorrow.